So my name is Venkatesh Sunkad. 1 minute about my education and the company I work for. So basically my background is I've done my master's and Ph.D. in telecom, so it's wireless communications. About 21 years of experience. Spent about 20 plus years of experience. Spent about 20 years in US. Came back, I was the vice president for Vodafone. Then came back to India, I was the vice president for a company called Mobilium. And now I'm actually a mentor in an organization called INSOFE. INSOFE stands for International School of Engineering. Basically, the opportunities are huge. So there are three kinds of opportunities I see. The first kind of opportunities you see are for people who are just graduating, right? And for them, the opportunities are humongous in terms of, they're looking for people basically to do two things. One thing is obviously set up the AI platform, set up the analytics platform. There's another one for people who have done their business degrees or people who have done that. One of the biggest challenges that we see in the AI industry today or in any industry today is there is the business team and there is the analytics team. The problem is both don't speak the same language. So there is this thing which Silicon Valley, I love Silicon Valley because they've come up with this terminology called translators. They who actually can convert business language into analytics language into that. So that's another area where there's a lot of opportunities. And the third opportunity is for people who have the domain knowledge. Domain knowledge is not dead. People think everybody loses a job. If for an industry, for an AI to survive, you need domain knowledge. So there's a lot of opportunity for people for retooling, but they have to do a little bit of retooling. But these are the three major pillars I see in terms of job opportunities. The answer is that the thing is, I can always easily, the answer could be is, can we train? It's not more than training. The question we see is, what we need to do is, why is this happened? The question we need to say is, when the 1990s, when this happened, when people started getting into the software industry, India was said to be the leader. They said by 2010, we'll do everything. Why is this suddenly there's a skill gap that was not there in the 1990s? The reason being, the technology has evolved. Unfortunately, the Indian education system and the system has not caught up with that. So there are three, the starting is at the education system. We need to change that, and it is becoming more practical driven. Earlier it was software, anybody could learn software and just do it. Today you can't do that. There's a combination of domain knowledge plus AI or ML or whatever you want to call it. The second thing is liberal arts education. That I think is something very important, because for data science to be successful, you need to think outside the box solutions. Whereas when you are a software engineer, you don't need to think outside the box. Most of them was code something from there. Here the projects are at a slightly higher level, and so you need this higher bit of liberal education. So a combination of liberal and technology is what I think is a success for the next generation. The value generation is multiple level. At one level, from an industry, within an industry or within a company, you can see that now you can actually see, you can generate these nice dashboards or things like that, things to action, where somebody sitting somewhere can say, hey, there's a problem with the machine there's a problem that this machine fails, or there's a problem, how can I prevent that? That is the first level. But the next level where Industry 4.0 is driving, and that's where the real value generation is, they're creating these platforms where I plug in my data, but can I now plug in my partner's data too and create a platform where anybody can come in and plug in to get their data. And that is the new value generation that Industry 4.0 paradigm is, and which is all my talk about and everything, it is actually generating, which is a huge value for all industries. But there's a challenge of security and openness. How much open should I be by sharing my data versus my partner's data? So those are the challenges, and obviously the last part of it is the security and ethics part of it. Yeah, there's always an ethics part of it which you need to take a look at it.
And what role does INSOFE play in this?
So INSOFE plays in multiple roles. First of all, INSOFE, as the name states, International School of Engineering, we do offer a PGP courses for to do AI and ML, and in addition to that, we also do IoT and things like that. That is the education part. In addition to that, all our mentors and professors are basically do two other things. We do a lot of corporate training in order to retool, and third thing, we also do consulting for the most of the Fortune 500 companies. So we play in all these three spaces from an INSOFE perspective. So the roadmap for us is, again, basically we are now trying to hedge new partnership, both within and outside India, which we have already done, and to expand that partnership to see if we can get from an education sector. Corporate training, we are expanding it to basically go into new industries. And consulting, it's an everyday game. We're getting into new industries that we didn't have earlier, and we're trying to get more, build up more value chain there.